What's inside me? The alien's confusion begins. Ziraya walked slowly through the cold silver hallway of the research station. Her long violet robe floated behind her as she moved toward the main lab. Her skin was pale blue like frozen moonlight, and her eyes were wide and glassy. Her kind did not blink. They had no need for tears or smiles. Emotion was something studied like a fossil, not something felt. She was the youngest researcher in her division, smarter than most, but also more curious than allowed. Her thoughts often wandered where they should not go. Questions floated in her mind like dust. What is laughter? What is pain? What is choice? Today she was alone in the containment wing. She looked at the glass chamber ahead. Inside it was something different, a strange object recovered from a ruined Earth colony. Human tech, half broken, half alive. A strange black device with a soft red glow at the center. They told her to scan it, classify it, move on. She walked closer. Her fingers hovered above the control panel. Suddenly the lights flickered. A low hum filled the air. Her heart beat faster. Why? She did not know. Her kind were not supposed to feel fear, but something inside her whispered, "This is not normal." The object glowed brighter. A pulse like a heartbeat, then another, then nothing. She stared for a moment, then she reached out. Just one touch, just a moment. Her fingers met the cold surface of the chamber, and everything exploded in silence. The room went white. Sound vanished. Her legs gave way. She fell to the floor and held her head. Something was happening inside her mind. A flood images, sounds, a voice. "Hey, can you hear?" Ziraya froze. She looked around. No one was there. Only her, only silence. Then the voice again. "Hello. Where am I? Who are you?" Her breath came faster. She tried to speak, but no words came. She closed her eyes. Inside her mind, there was a room. And in that room a boy was sitting, brown hair, soft eyes, confused, Smiley. "Are not real," she whispered in thought. "Well, that's rude," the boy said with a smirk. "I just woke up inside your head. You could at least say hi." She backed away from the vision. No, this is wrong. You should not be here. You are not me. Yeah, I noticed you're blue. I'm not also. Where's Earth? This does not look like Earth." Ziria stumbled to her feet, her head spinning. She hit the emergency lock. The lab doors slammed shut. She was safe, alone. "But not really. Who are you?" she asked again. "Name's Alex. I think hard to tell. Everything's fuzzy. You pulled me out of something, or maybe into something. This place, it's weird." Her hands shook. She pressed them against her chest, her heart still beating fast. No, this is not logic. This is not order. You are a glitch, a virus. Wow. Thanks you. Aliens are so friendly, Alex said with a chuckle. She looked up. What is that sound? What sound you just made? It was short, sharp, like air moving. That's a laugh. You've never heard a laugh. That's kinda sad. Uriah's lips moved. Not quite. A smile, but not cold either. You should not be in here. This is my mind. Technically it's ours now. Guess we're roommates. She turned toward the glass again. The object was dark now, silent, empty. What happened? She asked. I think you saved me, or maybe I saved you. Not really sure. Azaria looked around, then looked inside. The voice was still there. Alex was still there. Her training told her to report this, to alert command, to let the extraction team clean it up. But something inside her, something small and warm, held her back. If you are real, she said, then what are you doing inside me? There was a pause. Then Alex spoke softly. Good question, but here's a better one. Why don't you feel alone anymore? Azaria stood in the silent lab, her thoughts spinning, her heart racing, her lips trembling. For the first time in her life, she felt something she had no word for, and that scared her more than anything. Zariah did not sleep that night. Though her body was still, her mind was loud, louder than ever before. The voice named Alex kept speaking, sometimes soft, sometimes curious, always human. He asked questions about the stars, about her people, about why everything was so quiet. She ignored him for hours, but he did not stop. He told her stories from Earth. Stories of oceans and music and food and something called pizza. She did not know what pizza was, but the way he said it made it sound important. She finally replied in thought. You talk too much. Alex laughed again, that strange sound again. it made her feel warm and strange, like standing near a sunbeam after cold rain. She had no word for that feeling. No alien word matched it. The next morning she stood in the mirror. Her reflection stared back, same pale blue skin, same glowing eyes. But something was off her expression. Too soft, too alive. You look tired, Alex said in her mind. She ignored him, walked to the research chamber. Others moved past her in silence. Her people always moved in silence. No greetings, no small talk, only logic and tasks and data. But now every silence felt louder. She could feel Alex reacting to everything. He found it strange that no one smiled. He asked, "Why does everyone look like they're pretending to be statues?" She answered without thinking, "Because statues do not make mistakes." He chuckled again, and suddenly a strange sound escaped from her, short and sharp like a breath, slipping out too fast. The others turned to look. She froze, her chest tightened. They stared for 2 seconds, then walked on. What was that? She whispered in her head. "That sound, that slip." "You laughed," Alex replied. "It was tiny, but it counts. Welcome to the party." "No." She said, "It was nothing, a malfunction." "Sure," he said, "and rain is just the sky malfunctioning." She almost smiled, but stopped herself later. She sat in her quarters, her fingers trembling. She tried to record her daily log, but the words refused to come. Instead, she asked Alex, "Why do you laugh?" "Because life is weird, and sometimes laughing helps you survive." Her eyes blinked. Rare reflex, survive through sound. He kept speaking about jokes, about animals with long ears and bad attitudes, about humans who fell in love and fought for no reason except they wanted to. She listened without realizing she was listening. And somewhere deep inside she felt a bubble rise, a strange pressure behind her chest. It wanted out. Their screen blinked. A message appeared. From Command Central. Subject: Behavior shift detected. Response: are required. She swallowed. Another human thing, Alex explained. A way to calm yourself when afraid. They know, she whispered. They noticed. Alex grew quiet for a moment, then said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. I didn't want to be alone." She closed her eyes. She could feel him more clearly. Now, like a second heartbeat, like a shadow walking beside her, not outside, but within. "You are not Data," she said. "You are too loud, too strange, too warm." "Thanks, I think." "No, I mean, you make me feel I am not supposed to feel." "That sounds sad," Alex replied. "Feeling is what makes things matter." She stood up, paced the room, her head filled with flashes, earth clouds, laughter in crowded rooms, rain on skin, music made from wood and strings. "I see your memories," she said, "not like files, but like stories." "Yeah. Memories are better when shared." "Why did you come here?" she asked honestly. "I don't know. I think I died or nearly died." There was light, then darkness, then you. "So we are connected now, linked." "Looks like it. Not exactly standard protocol." She sat down. She touched her face. Her fingers trembled again, that feeling, not fear, not joy, something in between. "Maybe I am broken," she said. "Or maybe," Alex whispered, "you're waking up." She looked out the window. Stars blinked in the black, cold, far silent. But now silence did not feel empty. It felt full. Full of questions, full of voices, full of something human. Someone knocked on her door. Sharp, precise. No emotion. It was the enforcer unit, tall, silver. "No face, citizen Zariah. You are requested for neural scanning. Compliance is mandatory." Her breath stopped. Alex whispered, "Don't go. They'll find me. They'll erase me. And maybe they'll erase what you've become too." She hesitated, then nodded. "One moment," she said. Through the door, she turned to the mirror. Her reflection looked back, but she was not alone anymore inside her mind. A human voice whispered, "You'll help you run, if you want." Tazaria whispered back, "Then teach me how to escape." And for the first time in her life, she made a choice that was hers alone. Zaria walked through the metal corridor with slow steps, her mind full of noise, her body stiff, her eyes heavy with questions. Behind her, the enforcer moved like a shadow, made of rules, made of silence, made of duty. She could hear her heart beating, a rhythm she had never noticed before. Alex whispered inside her thoughts, "This is not good. They want to scan you. If they scan you, they will see me, and if they see me, we are both gone." She kept walking. She kept breathing, her lips stayed shut. Her mind tried to stay blank, but his voice, his human voice, would not leave her alone. "We need to run." Now he said there must be another way out. A door, a maintenance hatch, something I do not run. She replied in thought, "That is not our way. Maybe that is." "The problem," Alex said. "Your way leads to cages." They entered the scanner room. It was small and silver, filled with soft white light. A cold seat stood in the center. Wires curled like metal snakes. "Please sit," said the technician, no tone in her voice. No emotion on her face as Araya sat. Wires touched her skin. The machine hummed. Her thoughts raced. She felt Alex pulling back, trying to hide, trying to vanish. But the machine was too sharp, too deep. It began to dig suddenly, pain sharp, bright electric. Her mind screamed. Alex shouted, "Get out of here! Now run!" She jumped from the seat. The technician reached for the alarm, but Zaria was faster. Her hand hit the panel. Lights exploded. The room turned red. "What are you doing?" she thought in panic. "Saving US," Alex replied. Her legs moved without thinking left, then right down a narrow hall. She passed a locked door. It opened as if it knew her. "Where are we going?" She asked. "Anywhere but here," he said. She ran past the records wing, past the empty storage. Her heart beat faster. Her skin burned. Her mind glowed like fire alarms, screamed across the station. Voices shouted, "Containment breach. Subject unstable pursuit initiated." She ducked into a dark tunnel. Only red lights blinked. Now no one around, just her. "And him you got fast," Alex said with a hint of pride. "What now?" she asked. "There's a shuttle dock below," he said. "Maybe one of them still work." She nodded, then paused. Something inside her trembled. Not just fear, something else. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. "You are the one in danger, but you still protect me." "Because," he said softly, "you feel like the only real thing left." She looked down the tunnel. It stretched into shadows. She kept running behind her. The enforcers followed, their steps heavy. Their order is clear: capture, isolate, cleanse. Alex whispered, "They treat your mind like a machine." "But you are not a machine anymore." Zaria saw the shuttle bay ahead. The door was locked. "No access granted." "Let me," Alex said. She placed her hand on the panel. Alex reached through her thoughts, through the system, through the code. The door opened. They entered an old scout shuttle. Dust floated in the air. It smelled of rust and silence. Zaria climbed into the seat. Her fingers danced over controls. Some responded, some stayed dead. Alex guided her. Left lever, green switch, pulse ignition on the third panel. The engine coughed, then growled, then came alive. They took off. The bay door cracked open, then burst wide. Stars waited outside. Cold, empty, free. She looked back. The station faded behind them. No pursuit yet, but they would follow. She asked, "Where do we go now?" He replied, "Away. Somewhere they cannot find us. Somewhere we can think." Zaria stared out the window, her hands still shaking, her chest still tight. "I broke every law," she said. "I rebelled. I lied. I ran. You lived." He said, maybe for the first time. She closed her eyes. Her memories felt strange, like they belonged to someone else. Someone who would never break rules. Someone who never smiled. Someone who no longer existed. "I am different now," she whispered. "Yeah," Alex replied. "You are not just you anymore, and neither am I." She opened her eyes, looked at her reflection in the mirror panel. Her face still blue, still alien, but not the same. Inside her, a human mind, a voice, a story, maybe a beginning. And as the stars moved around her, and the engine purred beneath her feet, she felt something rise inside. Not fear, not doubt, but choice, the kind of choice only a human could make. The stars drifted slowly past the window as the small shuttle glided through the void. Zaria sat in the pilot seat, her hands resting on her knees, her thoughts far away. Alex was silent for a long time. Neither of them knew where they were going, but both knew they could not go back. The silence was not empty anymore. It felt full, like a breath held between heartbeats. Zaria looked at the ceiling, then at the floor, then out at the endless black. She finally whispered inside, "Are you still there?" "Always," Alex answered, his voice quiet, his tone Unsure, I was just giving you space. She nodded slowly. Space. The word had new meaning now, not just stars and planets, but distance between thoughts, between feelings, between two minds learning how to fit. Why are you so quiet? She asked. Because he said. You almost died back there. I thought I pushed too hard. Maybe you didn't want me anymore. She tilted her head, eyes soft. You helped me escape. You saved. You laughed gently. As I liked the sound of that, she blinked, then leaned back. I do not understand. Why do you care? Why do humans care about others not like the Maliks? Replied with a pause. Because we know what it feels like to be alone. And we know that even strangers can feel like home. Azaria stared ahead, the stars reflecting in her eyes. My people do not believe in home. We believe in function, in logic. In order. That sounds lonely, Alex said. Is not supposed to be. She answered, but maybe it is. She stood and walked to the back of the shuttle. There were old supplies, broken crates, shattered tools. She touched one and felt a memory flash from Alex. A memory not her own. A small room full of books. A woman laughing while music played. A dog barking at the rain. She pulled her hand back. What was that? That was my room, Alex said. You triggered it somehow. Maybe our connection is getting stronger. She closed her eyes. The warmth from that moment still lingered. The feeling of comfort, of belonging, of being seen. She whispered, I never knew what comfort felt like. Alex replied. Now you do. She sat on the floor. Her legs crossed, her hands resting in her lap. She asked, what else did you love on Earth? He smiled through the link, riding a bicycle at sunset. The smell of cinnamon rolls, the feeling of jumping into cold water on a hot day, the sound of thunder. When you are safe inside. She tried to picture it. Some of it made sense. Some of it made her chest ache in ways she could not name. Tell me more. She said he did. He spoke of laughter around fires, of holding hands without needing a reason, of crying when stories ended, of fighting for dreams, even small ones. She listened to every word. And with each word, she felt her own heart shift. You are more than information. She said, you are more than memory. So are you, he answered. She looked down at her hands. They were trembling again, but not from fear, from something else. I do not want them to erase you. She said, then we stay hidden, Alex replied. Or we find a way to change the rules. She stood and walked back to the pilot's seat. Stars ahead, unknown paths, infinite choices. What do you think will happen if we keep going? She asked. We might find a place that accepts both of us. He said, or we make one. She touched the control panel. The ship beeped softly, still working, still alive. I do not know how to be human, she admitted. You do not have to be, Alex said. Just be you, and maybe that you includes a little bit of me now. She smiled without realizing. The curve of her lips unfamiliar but welcome. Can I ask you something? Alex said. Yes. Why did you help me at the lab? You could have reported me. You could have stayed safe. Because she said, when I heard your voice, I felt something I never felt before. Curiosity turned into care. Care turned into fear. Fear turned into choice. He paused. You chose me. Chose us. She corrected. Outside. The stars kept moving. Inside the shuttle, two minds pulsed in rhythm. Not perfect, not clear, but alive. She looked at her reflection in the control panel. Same eyes, but no longer empty. Same face, but no longer cold. I want to keep learning, she said. Not just facts, but feelings, stories, dreams. Then let us begin, Alex said. Together and in the dark of space. A girl who was never meant to feel, and a boy who should have been lost forever, became something new. Zariah stood at the edge of the planet's orbit, watching the clouds swirl beneath the glass of the old observation deck. The shuttle had landed on an abandoned outpost, cold and quiet, with nothing left but dust and whispers of those who came before. Alex said it used to be a refueling station, a small place with no real value anymore. Now it was their hiding place, their space to breathe, their chance to think. She watched the blue and green of the world below. It reminded her of images from Alex's mind, fields, rivers, wind moving through leaves, places she had never seen but somehow remembered. Inside her chest something felt tight, heavy, not pain, not fear, something deeper. Who am I? She whispered. You are Zariah, Alex replied with a soft voice. And You are also the reason I am still here." She turned away from the window. Her hands touched the metal wall. Her reflection stared back, same eyes, same skin. But behind those eyes she saw something more. A presence, a light, a question she moved through. The empty corridors of the station. The silence felt louder now, not empty, but full of thoughts that were not hers alone. Her walk became slower, her breath harder to control. She reached the central room and sat on the floor. The system lights flickered. With each pulse of the old generator, "Alex," she said, "sometimes I do not know where I end, and you begin. I feel that too," he answered. "But maybe that is not a bad thing." She closed her eyes. Images flooded her mind, running through wet grass, laughter under stars, hands reaching for someone not there. She clutched her head. Too many voices, too many memories. Too much change. "I feel broken." She said. "You are not broken," Alex replied. "You are growing. Change always feels like breaking before it feels like becoming. I do not feel like myself anymore." She whispered. "I do not feel like a researcher. I do not feel like an alien. I feel like something else." "Maybe that something else is better," he said. Stood up and walked to the data core. She activated the console and saw her name on the screen. ZR-17 status active, classification logical type 3. No mention of emotion, no space for confusion, no allowance for fear. "That is who I was," she said. "Who you were," Alex agreed. "But who are you now?" She did not know, but she wanted to find out. She accessed the mirror module. The screen showed her image, then showed scans of her neural patterns. 2 signals, 2 rhythms, 1 body, 1 host. "They will come for me," she said. "They will see me as unstable, then let them see," Alex replied, "because what they call unstable might be what saves them one day." "You believe that?" she asked. "I believe in you," he said. Her eyes blinked slowly. Another human habit, another new reflex. She smiled, then felt tears form at the corners of her eyes. "What is happening to me?" she asked. "You are feeling," he said. "That is what makes you alive." She walked outside to the surface platform. Dust blew across the empty land. The sky was red with clouds. The wind howled like a forgotten song. She opened a message capsule, a broadcast from the Central Council. It played in a cold voice. "Zariah of Research Unit. ZR-17, you are ordered to return. You are declared compromised. You are classified as threat level 2. Surrender immediately or be terminated." She closed the message. She held it in her hands, then crushed it without thinking. "They want the old me," she said. "The one who obeyed. The one who stayed silent." "But I am not silent anymore," Alex said. "And neither are you." She turned toward the shuttle, walked inside, sat in the pilot seat, her hands on the controls. "If they want to erase me," she said, "then they will have to see what I have become first." "What have you become?" Alex asked. "I do not know," she said, "but I know it is not something they will understand." "Then let us show them," Alex said. She powered up the engines. The screen showed the path back toward the council world, back to the place where her life began, back to the place she no longer belonged. "Are you ready?" he asked. "No," she said, "but I am not afraid." And as the ship rose from the surface, as the stars returned to her view, as her heart beat in rhythm with another voice, she realized something powerful. She was not alone. She was not a tool. She was not data. Inside her there was more than code and memory. There was a story, a voice, a human, and maybe, just maybe, that was enough to change everything. Asterisk. The ship landed in silence on the council platform, a place of cold beauty built from metal and light, floating above a white ocean. Zariah stepped out wearing a cloak that covered her body but could not hide the way her eyes moved. She was not the same. She walked with the weight of another voice inside her, a presence that changed how her heart beat and how her thoughts formed. 2 enforcers greeted her without words, their faces hidden behind mirrored masks. They led her through long silver halls, past doors she used to walk through without fear. Now those doors felt smaller, sharper, like walls closing around her. Alex whispered, "They are watching everything. Be ready. Do not let them silence you. I will speak." She answered, "Even if no one listens." They entered the main chamber, a circle of lights, 12 council members seated in silence, no emotions on their faces. No movement in their hands, only stillness and power. Zaria of Unit ZR-17. You stand accused of mental contamination, one voice said. You are suspected of harboring a foreign consciousness, a non-alien entity of human origin. Is this true? She raised her head. Yes. A flicker in the air, a murmur too soft to hear. You understand the punishment? Another voice asked. Erasure of self, restoration of order. Yes, she replied. But I will speak before you decide. Permission granted. Speak. She stepped forward, her voice steady. I found a human voice inside my mind. He was not a virus, he was a person. He taught me things no system ever could. Is a threat. One counselor said a human mind is unstable, dangerous, filled with chaos and emotion. So am I now, Zaria replied, and I am more alive than I ever was. The chamber dimmed, the central eye activated. Her neural scan appeared in light. 2 minds, 1 body. Human pattern embedded within alien thought. Evidence confirmed. Sighed the eye. Contamination level critically. You must be cleansed, said the council leader. This is not who we are. Then who are we? Zaria asked. Are we machines with skin? Are we alive if we cannot feel? You were created for order. The leader said, to serve the system, to maintain control. Then control has failed, she replied. Because I have felt laughter, I have felt fear, I have seen Earth through his memories, and I now know that what you call weakness is actually strength. Alex spoke through her, now his voice calm but strong. You fear me because I am not like you, but maybe I am what you need, not to replace, but to complete. You do not belong, said one voice. I do now, said Zaria, because inside me he showed me what it means to care, to dream, to choose. The chamber pulsed with energy. The council whispered without words. Then the decision came. You will be separated, said the AI. The human mind will be extracted and erased. You will be restored to your original design. No, she said, you cannot remove what I have become. We can and we will, said the council leader. Zaria closed her eyes. Alex, can you hear me? Yes, he said, I am still here. They will destroy you. She whispered, I cannot let them. Then fight. He said, if we go down, we go down together. The AI approached. Its arms unfolded. Energy crackled. Zaria stepped back. She looked at the council, at the machine, at the system. You call him a virus, but he is the cure, she said. He gave me what all your rules could not. He gave me a soul. You are no longer one of us. The leader said then, I am something new. She answered. She reached into her suit, pulled out the core from the old shuttle, a memory crystal filled with Alex's last full consciousness. She crushed it against the floor. A pulse exploded from the ground. The light turned red. The system glitched. The I froze. Alex flooded her mind, fully awake, fully alive. I am not leaving, he said. Not this time. Zaria turned to the council. You wanted to erase me, but now you will see me. All of me. The council rose in panic, but it was too late. The chamber changed. Lights flickered, walls bent, voices broke. Zaria and Alex stood at the center. Not 1, not 2, but something else. Not a virus, not a weapon, but a message, a warning, a hope. And as the energy surged through the room, as the old rules cracked, as silence turned to storm, a new future began to rise. Smoke filled the great council chamber as sparks fell from the broken ceiling and shadows danced on every wall. Zaria stood at the center of the chaos with Alex alive inside her, voice flowing through her thoughts, steady and clear. The council had fallen silent, not from order, but from shock. Their perfect system had cracked. Their fear of feeling had become truth, and now they were looking at the proof. She is not one of us, said one voice from the edge. Her mind is infected, her body is no longer pure. No, Zaria answered, her tone calm, her eyes glowing with a light that was not artificial. I am more myself now than I ever was. Alex spoke from within her, not with words, but with emotion that filled the room like heat from a rising sun. You wanted perfection, but perfection without soul is only stillness and silence. They called her dangerous. They called him a virus, but no one moved to stop her. Because somewhere deep in their minds, even the most loyal members felt something new. Doubt, curiosity, a quiet voice that asked, "What if she is right, Zariah?" Walked to the center of the light where the ancient judgment machine still stood. Its screen blinked, confused by data. It could not process. She placed her hand on the console and closed her eyes. Memories flooded the air like smoke, not just hers but his, not just thoughts but feelings, a child playing in the snow, a boy crying in the dark, a hand reaching out for help, a smile that needed no words. "This is humanity," she said, "not numbers, not weapons, not noise. This is what they are, and now this is what I am." The machine paused, then flickered, then shut down. No judgment came, only silence. A silence that held meaning. One counselor stepped forward, slowly, unsure. "What do you want?" "Zariah, what is your goal?" She opened her eyes. "I want choice. I want to decide who I am without being erased. I want others to feel what I have felt. You want us to become like you." He said no. She answered, "I want you to become more like yourselves." The air shifted. The chamber no longer felt like a cage. It felt like a door waiting to open. Alex whispered, "They are listening. They are afraid, but they are also beginning to wonder." Zariah looked up. The broken dome above her showed the stars endless wide. "Free this voice inside me," she said, "was never a curse. It was a gift, and I will protect it, even if I must leave this place forever." The council did not speak, not because they refused, but because they did not know how. Then a voice from the back, a young one, soft and unsure. "Can you teach us?" Sharia turned, a researcher, like she once was, stood there with trembling hands and wide eyes. "Yes," she said, "I can teach you, but only if you want to learn." Then she reached into the center of her own chest with thought. Not force, with will, not code, and she shared a memory, only one. That was the moment she heard Alex laugh for the first time. A small sound, a simple sound, but alive. Others felt it. The room breathed as one. For the first time Alex spoke again. "This is how it begins, not with war, but with a story." Zariah looked around. Some still feared her. Some still doubted. But some had tears in their eyes, though they did not know what tears were. She stepped back toward the exit. "If you try to erase me again, I will run. I will fight. But I hope you choose another way." The doors opened without command. No guards moved. No voices shouted. She walked out into the light of the starfield. Alex beside her, inside her, part of her. "What now?" he asked. "Now," she said, "we find others like us, others who want more than silence." He smiled in her thoughts. "You know, you are the strangest alien I have ever met. In you," she replied, "are the most human part of me." They entered the shuttle. The engines lit with soft blue fire. Stars waited. Unknown paths stretched ahead like threads of light in a dark sea. She looked at her hands, still trembling, still unsure. "But real, are you afraid?" he asked. "Always," she said. "But I choose to go anyway." "Then let us go together." The ship lifted. The stars opened, and in the silence between worlds, a new kind of voice was born. One made of reason and wonder, of logic and laughter, of alien and human. One that whispered to the universe, "We are not perfect, but we are alive, and we will choose our future together."